welcome to another edition of CropLife Retail Week. Paul Schrimpf here with Eric Sfiligoj. Again. You're tan, rested, and ready from a couple of days in Louisville.
Yeah, it was warm, but it wasn't that warm, Paul.
So not a lot of. I mean, it's a big grower show, so it's not a lot of retail stuff there.
True.
The insides seem to be the big focus, technology-wise.
Yeah, I was going to say most of the new product introductions at the National Farm Machinery Show had to do with in-cab tractor, communication and computing power, and internet speed, that kind of thing. So these are technologies, Paul. I know a lot of the big manufacturers usually put in the tractor lines first, and they'll show up in the applicators a year or two later. So probably by 2021, maybe 2022, we'll start seeing some of these technologies appear in the cabs for like the Patriot sprayers or the John Deeres of the world. So
sure, and data flow is going to be really important. We make sure growers can get their data across the cab to the office, and share it hopefully with their service provider as well. So maybe we'll see some improvement there. And speaking of data flow, see, I even segued my own item.
You did.
I didn't need you.
Didn't
need you at all.
Thank you.
We talked a little bit about rural broadband with the USDA. They had a press conference, and they're rolling out some of the a guidebook and some of the web tools that you can go on, and we'll show those on the screen that you can get online. But it's helping communities to get a hold of some of the cash that the government's offering now through the Farm Bill and through the Precision Ag Act that was passed, I think, early in 2018. How to get a hold of it, how to apply for grants, what the qualifications are. It's only going to be, at the end of the day, a drop in the bucket for rural America trying to get rural broadband. It's going to cost a lot of money, but hopefully we'll get some projects started, and we can fill in some gaps where they exist in certain communities. So that's positive.
Yeah, and I know you had mentioned too that we've seen a little bit about glyphosate in the news recently. What do you have there, Paul?
Well, yeah, there was one of those a group of studies that already exists, and make the assertion, and it's one of those, we still haven't really learned how to communicate science. It's the big headline is 41% increase risk or something along those lines.
I believe I did see something about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So you get to the last 6 paragraphs, and it talks about how little data there is and how much more data is needed to really come to any kind of conclusion. So once again, we're putting an outrageous headline out there, getting people,
clickbait.
kind of all
clickbait.
Yeah. We know how to get people to click on stories.
Yes,
we don't
do.
actually know how to tell a decent science story. So we're all concerned about this. We're all concerned about making sure that the products are as safe as possible. But at the same time, this just creates a lot of rhetoric, which gets the anti-folks all riled up and upset, and gets folks, us city folks that we get to sit with, and they say, what is agriculture doing to people? It's like, you need to look at the science. You really need to understand what's going on before you just jump to conclusions.
Well, kind of circling back a little bit, I mean, one other thing we've been talking about in the last few weeks here, remember during the Super Bowl there was the controversy regarding the corn syrup use in some beers, and the way that Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light were promoting the fact that they didn't have corn syrup in their beers. And Paul, at the National Farm Machinery Show on Friday the 15th of February, the folks at DeKalb were handing out vouchers at their booth in the evening for anyone attending the show to get a free Coors Light, which of course, as you remember, Paul, is one of the beers that was being pointed out as using corn syrup. And of course, the funny thing about that is the Kentucky Convention Center has Anheuser-Busch and Bud Light as its primary beer that's available on site. So it'll be interesting to find out post that show what type of Coors Light consumption there was on Friday the 15th of February in Kentucky.
I think it's all a conspiracy by farmers to get more free beer. And if it is, I congratulate you.
We're all for awesome. That.
And it's working.
That's
right. Nobody's paying more attention to farmers today than the beer companies aren't.
That's true. And I know Anheuser-Busch is saying that they'd like to have a meeting with the corn growers and sort of explain their position, that they really meant nothing more than just to make a funny set of commercials. So there you go.
Idiots. All right, well, that's this edition of CropLife Retail Week, I think, isn't it? Are we done?
And we're never getting Anheuser-Busch as a sponsor, apparently, after that comment.
Well, this might have something to do with it, too, but that's okay. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.